one thought at a time.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Changing Minds Online Sunday Night Call. How are you doing today, Jessica?
I am doing awesome. Thank you, Akina. You know, it's interesting. I'm looking outside my window, and I see it's cloudy, and it looks like it is about to snow again. And, you know, it's funny because for the last 3 weeks in a row, we got snow every Sunday night. So I am thinking that, I don't know, maybe that's something to do with this call, but I am sitting here. I'm grateful and excited to be inside and warm and home safe. How about you? How you doing down there?
Oh, it is wonderful. It was actually 61 degrees for most of the weekend, and that's so beautiful.
Well, I might be coming to visit you guys. Next week, we just want to make an announcement. It is a very strong possibility that if there is snow, again in Sunday in the forecast, Akina and I will be doing this call live together down in Huntsville. But, yeah, I'm excited about the call tonight. We have a great lineup tonight on the call, don't we?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We have two wonderful speakers that's going to give us a wealth of information tonight. They are the directors of Women's Speaker Association Live, Connect, and Collaborate Huntsville, and they are also the co-founders of Speak with Eloquence. I would love to introduce to everyone Cheryl Webb and Betty Perriman. How are you doing today, ladies?
Hello. Good evening, everyone. Betty and I are so glad to be here with you this evening.
Yes, I'm absolutely thrilled. I'm actually joining you girls from Oklahoma City. It's absolutely beautiful here, so I'm going to send you some warm love from down here.
Yeah, we need a lot of warm vibes in New York City right now because we've had some interesting weather the last few weeks.
Well, we'll definitely send some good love to you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, Jessica, tonight we're going to be talking to the ladies about how to leverage speaking to market your products and services. And I know a lot of our listeners today are very interested in that, so we're going to get started. So, ladies, tell us how to leverage speaking to market our products and services.
Well, Cheryl and I basically started and founded Speak with Eloquence because when we brought the speakers platform to Huntsville, Alabama, and the region in the South, we wanted to help people, especially women entrepreneurs, whether they were coaches or women in ministry, who are just someone who maybe had a storefront and wanted to get their message out and speak and get paid well for it, but just didn't know where to go. And when we began connecting and collaborating with members of our group, we quickly became aware that there are wonderful speakers, that they have wonderful messages, and they know where the platforms are. They just don't know what to do to get there. They don't know how to get paid for the wonderful voices that they have. Right, Cheryl?
That's absolutely correct, Betty. And so one of our strategies that we're using in the Connect and Collaborate and through the Suite program is to help these ladies refine their talks, learn how to get leverage, how to get recognized. There's so many different levels that go into speaking. They all have a wonderful voice already. They all have a heart for their individual messages that they want to get out there to the community as a whole. And we just need to help them with little strategies to refine that so that they know how to be chosen as a speaker for an event, how to protect themselves when they're out there doing an event, and just extra ways to market themselves so that they can be heard.
That's a great point that you made too when you spoke about marketing, because for your listeners out there, ladies, let's talk a moment about platforms. A platform, for some of you who may not really understand that word or the definition of a platform, think about it like a professional strip mall that has storefronts. So when you go up to the storefront, there may be a LinkedIn store or a Twitter or a Facebook or maybe even associations like a speaker's platform. Okay, what does that storefront do for you? When you go there with your message, that is your advertising agency, your marketing agent. So that's basically what a platform is for anybody who really didn't understand that. I hope that's a good visual for you to understand a little bit better what a platform is and how you can utilize it for your speaking. Now, some associations, whether you're a coach or a professional speaker, some associations do not allow marketing the products or services. You're basically listed in a directory, a member directory, okay? So, and some platforms do allow you to do marketing, direct or indirect marketing. Facebook is really a dynamic there. They change every day. So you really have to kind of keep up with where you're wanting to park your platform or what storefront you want to go to. And the best way to do that is, okay, Cheryl, I'm going to throw you a curveball here with, we have a Valentine's Day is coming up next this week, and more women care more about that first diamond that they get than and then doing the research and really committing to their business. So let's give them a little idea about if I asked you, Cheryl, to describe how you would rate your diamond, you would know exactly what to tell these ladies, right? What are the things that a lady looks for when they're selecting a diamond for themselves?
Well, there's so much that goes into that, and with somebody that maybe has never shopped for a diamond before, they might not know what to look for when it comes to cut and clarity, carats. There's so many little details that go into a diamond and making it wonderful, making it valuable.
Right?
It is.
That's what makes our business wonderful.
You have to learn all of the tools that you need to make that a brilliant diamond. And so that's what we're trying to do with Speak with Eloquence, is to help everyone have the tools that they need to make the right decisions to have their business at the top and at the best it can be.
Right. So one of the tips that we can give our listeners today is that when you think about your business and you're thinking that it's that diamond in the rough, maybe you're just starting out, or even if you're a full veteran and you want to graduate to the big pin carrier plug. So if you're looking for clarity in your business, that part of the diamond should be your target market, okay? And we talk to our members all the time about targets for speakers, and then the color of your diamond. Believe it or not, there's more than clear. There's that canary diamond. The brilliance of them is remarkable, and that brilliant shine, Cheryl, is the brand. Okay, the brand for your business. That diamond is your brand. And you spoke about the cut. Now, when you're talking about the cut in your business, you're actually talking about marketing. What makes the cut for you? What gives you your best return for the money that you put into it? And then, of course, the carat is all about the size, the weight, the dimension of the business itself? Are you starting small? Do you already have a full thriving business? And again, here, ladies, we're talking about how you can speak and get paid for promoting your business, whether you're a direct marketer or whether you are home health care or medical professional, whether you're a therapist, coach, or a woman in ministry, clergy, lay clergy, whether you're a singer or other performing artist, doesn't matter. If you want to market, you can speak and do that and get paid very well to do it. Mm-hmm. There are some things that you really need to know about. Did you have some questions for us, Jessica and Akina, about how we could get these ladies to leverage their speaking and get paid and booked for it?
Yes. Most people are just wanting the tips on how to get started getting paid.
Okay. The very first thing that I'm going to tell you about getting started is you need a signature speech, okay? You need a signature talk. You can have more than one signature talk, but you need to start with just one, okay, and nail it. Your delivery, how you deliver it, how you brand it, how you promote it, everything is going to tie back into that signature speech. And when you do that, that's the number one most important thing. And the second thing is about how you're going to get your message out there. Where do you go? Basically, Cheryl and I talk about this all the time, is that people just don't know what type of speaker they are and what type of talk that they're giving. You can modify that same signature talk, right, Cheryl, over and over for many different types of venues. I'll let you talk about that.
Well, and I think there's so much information out there. You can go online and you can find all kinds of information about designing your signature talk, and some of it's very good and some of it is just not so good. And I think as a community, we're trying to come together and help each other. We want women to have their voice and rise to the top. And so part of the community that we're developing through the Connect and Collaborate and the Speak with Eloquence is let's hear your talk. Let's help you critique your talk. Let's give you some tools that will make it its very, very best. And I think at the end of the call tonight, we're going to offer our tool, a tool to you to help get you started. And as part of our community of ladies that are coming together, we have many things planned to do as projects to get up and speak and hear each other. And some of the things, when you go back to talking about the diamond, Betty, all I could think about it when you got to the end of that was, well, if you've done all this work and you've found the perfect diamond and you've honed your craft, what do you need to top that off? Insurance. How many people have we talked to that have never even thought about that? And, Betty, you had that very situation happen to you for your travels that you're on this week. If you had not had insurance, you would have lost quite a bit of money. So why don't you share a little bit about that?
Absolutely. That's one of the things that I really would like to see everyone protect themselves with is when you are speaking and when you things that you ask for. One of the deal breakers for me is the event insurance. I require it before I'll sign an agreement with someone to agree to appear and speak for them, as they have to provide that insurance for me, and I have to have confirmation that they are providing it. That way, if recently I was booked for Arizona, I'm on my way to Los Angeles for an event on the 12th, and I did have a speaking event, and it was canceled due to a water main breakage. So it was no fault of their own, no fault of my own, but I would have been out that income. and thank goodness with the agreement, I knew to put that in there. So those types of things are something that we try to help you with, so that you know. Oftentimes, we tell our members all the time, you don't know what you don't know, and there are tons of resources out there, as you mentioned, Cheryl, for our listeners, but they don't go into how to help you. They just tell you that there are the resources available. They don't tell you how and why you should have them. We do few webinars actually that go into quite a bit of detail about different things like that, and give you tons of information on how to protect yourself and what you should include in your contracts and things like that. One of the things, too, that I wanted to touch briefly on, if we have time, ladies, is that we're actually working with the members of our group right now, aren't we, Cheryl, on case studies. Now, you're just starting out. You're going to say, gee, Cheryl, Betty, how in the world am I going to give a case study when I'm just starting out? I don't have the testimonies yet. Because, people often tell you you're going to have, for credibility, you're going to have those testimonies on your website. Well, first of all, a lot of people don't have a website yet. And second, if you're just starting out, you don't have credibility because you don't have a testimonial. You don't have the testimonial because you're just starting out. So it's a vicious little loop. But you can create case studies. So if you've had some success with clients, then you can speak about that. You can create a whole talk just on the success that the problems they face was addressed, the assessment, the plan that was presented, and the final outcome. I know we've talked about doing a webinar on this, Cheryl. If we do, I'd certainly like to be able to provide them with a template on that, an outline on how they could create their own little case study. But if you do not have any success yet, or you're just starting out, then create your ideal case study. Okay, and yes, that you can do that. Say, for example, I participated last year with a book project that was called "How Coaching Changes Lives," and a lot of those people did not have a contribution yet. They were just starting out as coaches. So we were speaking about coaching. So, and therein is a revelation, ladies. If you want to speak, you can speak about anything, even coaching, or the PTA, or from the UN. It doesn't matter where you're speaking from or what you could speak about a recent recipe or nuts that you picked, or you can blogging and doing reviews. Those are one ways of speaking. There are many ways of speaking. That's called print speaking or digital speaking. Your digital speaking can actually promote your voice speaking or your event, like your expo or your conference. And a lot of people confuse speaking genres or venues. They are growing every single day. There's so many more options now than just getting up on a keynote stage. I mean, there's so many viable speakers that, are you an inspirational speaker, a motivational speaker, educational or informational speaker? What are you? You need to identify yourself. That would be priority one. Priority two from those would be to create that signature speech for yourself that identifies you. And Cheryl, give us some identifiers on how these ladies that are listening can actually start putting together an idea for a signature talk. I like that. I think we talk about like that. Mm-hmm.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with looking within. What are you most passionate about? Because I truly believe that when you can identify what you're passionate about, then you can move forward in the right direction. And I think if journaling is a fabulous way to get started. Just looking into your heart and saying, what do I love? What am I looking to do? What am I passionate about? Write those thoughts down, because all of that will go into that signature talk, that first talk that you do. Having those details that come from the heart will help you formulate that signature talk. Having your hook, the hook is so important. When you're wanting to speak in a big arena, if you're wanting to just move outside of the local area and go to a bigger arena, there are things that you have to have in place to even be looked at, to get a second glance. I was listening to a well-known speaker today, and she says people decide within 3 seconds. When they see your page on the Internet, they decide within 3 seconds if you're worth their time or not. And if you're not, they move on and they never come back. So you have to have something right there at the top that grabs their attention so that they want to read a little bit further. So find your passion.
Absolutely. And
ladies,
what would drag them in? Beg pardon?
Yes, we have a question for you today, actually.
Okay.
Our question, yes. How do you go from speaking for free to getting paid? What are some good places to start your speaking career?
The very first thing that you should do if you are serious about speaking, and perhaps you already have a talk. Let's just assume that you have your talk and you're ready to talk. You have to be found. That's the number one most important thing, is to be found. So if you're going to, are you going to market online or offline? Okay, or do you want to speak online? Do you want to speak in person? These are some things that you must decide on before you can go and start marketing. I could tell you right now to go put up a website that's a speaker's website, but that's going to be like putting a billboard up in the Sierra Desert and hope that somebody drives by and sees your billboard, because there's so many more things that go into that. So to tell you just to start a website create a website and they will come. Well, who is they? Okay. All right. You're first of all, you have to know who you're targeting. That's the number one thing. I'll have people tell me all the time. I'll say, "Who is your target market?" And they'll say, "Women 35 to 60." You will never get a sponsor that way. I promise you that. You have to be very, very focused. I can tell you that my target market that I'm thinking about, my ladies, I know what kind of drops they use in their eyes. I know that they may use Depends. I know what age they are. I know that what kind of tea they drink, if they do, where they're banking from advertisements. I have to know them that well to know if it's going to pay me to talk to a certain genre, or if it's going to hinder them too, because there are actually 3 targets that a speaker must meet, okay? An event host, an event planner, and the audience, okay? Those are the 3 things. That's some good little diamond nuggets that you can take off with you today, is that you have 3 targets. And the event host is like a gatekeeper, if you will, for the event planner. The event planner has an audience. The organizer or the host, the host has the audience. The event planner is the gatekeeper for the host and the audience. So whenever you decide to advertise or put yourself out there to get paid, you have to have some sort of presence somewhere, okay? So you either have to contact these event organizers personally and get on those directories, or you're going to have a speaker site that brings them to you. Now, you can contact, there's Toastmasters and local groups that you can speak at. Most of those groups, a lot of times, Cheryl could probably enlighten you more than I on this aspect, but most of those networking groups are just that, networking. They're for information and sharing. They're not about paid events. When you're talking about paid events, and most of in your mind, you're probably thinking of things like a keynote for some human resource organization, some team building, some masterminding, some sports activities and events, motivational speaking. Those are the type of events that you're actually thinking about. Don't limit yourself to those. There are so many more opportunities out there. In your site, if you are going to advertise online, it needs to be tight. And what I mean by tight is that it needs to be consistent and clean. You don't need any opt-ins on a speaker's website because the event organizer and planner do not care. They don't care if you have the top 10 whatevers. They don't care if you have a pamphlet or PDF download. They don't give a hoot. What they really are looking for is what you can deliver to their audiences, their targets, because the event planner has to meet that of the host, and the host wants to know your agenda for being in front of their people. Why do you want to be up on stage in front of their people? So when you get those three things in and they're tight, then you'll have a marketable product, okay? And that was one of the reasons that I became a speaker myself, is because I had a marketable product that people were constantly asking me for. It was my book that was used in support groups. Cheryl is very active in many areas, and so we come together to create products now for women who want to get their voices out and be heard through speaking. So to answer the question again, where do I start? You always start with knowing why. What is your agenda? What is it that you want in front of that audience for? That is the number one thing, no matter what you're talking about or what you have to sell or what you have to share or what testimony you want to give about God's good graces. You have to have an agenda, a reason for being in front of the audience. And then you have to be prepared to deliver. Cheryl and I could tell you some horror stories about people not being prepared to deliver or growing so far beyond their means that they can't deliver because they're growing so rapidly and fast. So you want to make sure that you have things in place that will keep those people coming back and rebooking you. You don't want to let them down. You don't want to tell them that you can do all these things for them, and then they call on you and say, well, we're ready to go, and you don't even have a way for them to get you a contract. You don't have your contract ready. You don't have a little snippet that they can watch and see you interacting with people and how you talk, or that you don't have an interview. You don't have a media kit. And Cheryl, is a media kit important?
Oh, it is so important, and this is one of the projects that we wanted to work on here locally that we were going to start, is going around and interviewing women in business, women on TV, women in news, And do that for our members as well, and get those videos up to where they can post them on their website. And this is another reason that case studies are so important. When you have those case studies in place and documented on how there was a problem and you were able to help solve it and find a solution, that's part of your marketing agenda, is to have those videos and case studies in place to tell what you've done, where you've been. I love to hear some of the speakers talk about, I was on stage with, or I was on the same stage as Oprah Winfrey. Well, they weren't there at the same time as Oprah Winfrey, but they were there on the stage that she was on maybe a month earlier. But it's just little tidbits like that that's important to say. Having your marketing kit ready to go and post it on your website is valuable to those event planners, because they know by reading what's on your site, what you have to offer, where you've been, what you've done, is all a part of the package that's going to entice them to contact you, to reach out to you, to invite you to their event. If they don't see a lot of content there, they're just going to move on.
You're absolutely right. Did that answer the question for you, Kenya, and for our guests?
Yes, it certainly did. Thank you so much.
We have we love those questions, so if anybody has any, we hope they'll give them to us, because we like to interact with you.
Well, we're actually close to the end of the call, so we would love to hear about your offer today.
Well, awesome. We are going to be offering free webinars for anyone who needs more information. And, Cheryl, I would love for you to tell them about this free gift that we want all the listeners that were here today. We want to give you something that you can take away with you, and it's packed with tons and tons of information. This is, normally it actually sells for $47, and we're giving it away tonight. So we want you to be able to get an idea of the different types of talks, how to deliver them, and how to facilitate an event, not just to speak, but how to facilitate the full event from the stage or from a breakout conference, keynote, or online webinar or telesummit. So this should help you a lot, and it's for a lot of questions for you. And it's not for gift, Cheryl.
Yes, absolutely. And if everybody will just go to speakwitheloquence.com, the first page that pops up for you is our thank you gift for listening tonight, and that is the facilitator. You can click there and get that download, and it will help you learn the characteristics of a successful facilitator. There's lots of tools within that program that will benefit all of you. And once you go there and you register, you'll be able to find out about our upcoming webinars that we'll be having, and you'll be invited to those, and hopefully we can connect with you in other ways and help you no matter where you are.
Right. Whether you're just starting out or whether you're a veteran, there'll be tons of information, I promise, that will help you along the way. Lots of little checklists, guides, things like that. We're going to be happy to share those with you.
Well, thank you for that generous offer. It's wonderful for you to do that, to share that with our audience. I really appreciate it, and we appreciate you. Thank you so much for being on our call.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being on our call tonight. Yeah, it was absolutely a pleasure. You know, we always like to ask if there's one thing you can leave our audience with, as we wrap up tonight. What would that one thing be?
The one thing is that you are brilliant. You're as brilliant as a diamond. Your message is so important. I can't tell you enough that you might be a transformation for somebody who's sitting out there waiting for that message from you. Be that transformation. You can begin simply by sharing your message.
Absolutely. We always love to leave our audience on that note that, you can do anything you want to do. We firmly believe at Changing Minds Online that you can create your life. Thank you guys so much for coming on the call today. It was such a pleasure. We always also like to thank our audience. Without you, this couldn't be possible. If you want to hear a replay of this call or you want to share it with anyone you care about, if you know someone who is trying to create their life through speaking, you can find the replay on iTunes. We are on Podomatic. You can reach out to us on Facebook or find it on Changing Minds Online. And if anyone wanted to get in touch with you guys, what would be the best way to get in touch with you?
Go to speaknotes.com, or Cheryl, give them the email address.
Well, they can go to info@speakwitheloquence.com.
And just put in the headline, the subject headline, please put in there speaking or a question about speaking, design your talk, or leverage. Just add get paid for speaking. We'll know what you mean.
Well, thank you, Betty. Thank you, Cheryl. It was awesome information, and, I really hope that everyone takes advantage of your webinar. I know I'm going to be taking advantage of that myself. So thank you guys again, and thank you again to our audience. As we always say, we love you, God bless, and make it a great week.
Thank you.
God bless you, hon. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everyone.